Hello and welcome to Microsoft Intune. In this lesson, we'll take a look at what Intune is and at what it offers. Microsoft Intune is a cloud-based service that's used for mobile device management and mobile application management. It allows you to control how your organization's mobile phones, tablets, and laptops are used. Intune also allows you to configure policies that are used to control applications. For example, you might want to create a policy that prevents emails from being sent to people outside the organization. A cool benefit of Intune is the fact that you can use it to allow people in your organization to use personal devices for work, because when used with personal devices, Intune helps protect your organizational data while isolating corporate data from personal data on the device. I should point out that Intune is part of Microsoft's Enterprise Mobility and Security Suite, or the EMS suite, and it integrates with Azure AD. This integration allows you to control who has access and what can be accessed. Intune integrates with Azure Information Protection to provide data protection, and it can be used with the Microsoft 365 suite of products. This integration allows you to do things like deploy Microsoft Teams and other Microsoft 365 apps to your devices. The diagram on your screen shows what a typical Intune architecture looks like. When you use Microsoft Intune, you can either choose to be 100% cloud with Intune, or you can be co-managed with Configuration Manager and Intune. Microsoft Intune allows you to set rules and to configure settings on both personal and corporate devices to access data and networks, and it allows you to deploy and authenticate apps on both mobile and on-prem devices. When you use Intune, you can also protect corporate information by controlling how users access and share information, and you can ensure devices and apps are compliant with your security requirements. Intune allows you to manage devices in a way that is right for you. For example, you may want full control of organization-owned devices, including settings, features, and security. In these cases, the devices and the users of these devices can enroll in Intune. This causes them to receive the rules and settings that you've defined through policies that you've configured in Intune. For example, many organizations will set password and PIN requirements, they'll create VPN connections, or they'll configure protection. Now, for personal devices, or BYOD, the owners of those devices usually don't want their employer having full control of them. In these cases, you can give users options. For example, you can allow users to enroll their devices if they want full access to corporate resources from those personal devices. However, if users only want access to things like email or Microsoft Teams, you could use app protection policies that require MFA in order to use these apps. By enrolling and managing devices in Intune, you can see what devices are enrolled. You can get an inventory of devices that are accessing your organization resources. You can configure devices so they meet security and health standards. Enrolling and managing devices in Intune also allows you to push certificates to devices in order to simplify access to Wi-Fi networks or to VPNs. You can also view compliance reports that show users and devices that are compliant versus not compliant. Or you can even remove organizational data if a device gets lost or stolen, or if it's not used anymore. Mobile application management in Intune allows you to protect organizational data at the application level. You can protect store apps and custom apps. App management can be used on corporate-owned devices and personal devices. As a matter of fact, Intune's app management features allow you to add and assign mobile apps to user groups and devices. It allows you to configure apps to start or run with specific settings already enabled, or you can even update existing apps that are already on a device. The app management feature also allows you to view reports on which apps are used and to track their usage. And you can even do selective wipes by removing only organizational data from apps on your devices. Mobile app security in Intune is provided via app protection policies. App protection policies use Azure AD to isolate organization data from personal data. Essentially, data that's accessed using organization credentials is given additional security protection. App protection policies also help you secure access on personal devices by restricting the actions that users can take. For example, they allow you to control whether a user can copy and paste data, save data, or just view data. Application protection policies can be created and deployed on devices that are enrolled in Intune, that are enrolled in other mobile device management services, or even those that are not enrolled in any MDM service at all. On enrolled devices, app protection policies provide an extra layer of protection. To illustrate this, let's take an example where a user signs into a device using his organization credentials. The user's organization identity allows that user to access data that would be denied for the user's personal identity. As the user works with the data, app protection policies that you define will control how that data is saved and shared. Now, if a user signs in with their personal identity, those protections I just mentioned aren't even applied. What this does is allow an organization to control its data while allowing end users to retain control and privacy over their personal data. Now, if you remember earlier in this lesson, I mentioned that Intune integrates with Azure AD. This integration enables a broad set of access controls. For example, this integration allows you to require mobile devices to be compliant with your defined organizational standards before accessing network resources. It also allows you to lock down services so they're only available to a specific set of mobile apps. An example of this would be a scenario where you might lock down Exchange Online so it's only accessible via Outlook or Outlook Mobile. So how do you get Intune? Well, it's available as a standalone Azure service. It's included with Microsoft 365 and Microsoft 365 Government, and it's available as mobile device management in Microsoft 365, which is sort of a scaled down version since mobile device management in Microsoft 365 only consists of some limited Intune features. So with that, we'll wrap this lesson. The key takeaway here is that Microsoft Intune is a cloud-based service that's used for mobile device management and mobile application management. It allows you to control how your organization's mobile phones, tablets, and laptops are used. Integration with other services provides added layers of security.